Welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. Well, Scap Attack, I don't want to hear nothing else about a Joker. I just got done watching the Boston game versus OKC, and SGA continues to do his thing, basically with no All-Star teammate, no Hall of Fame teammate, no All-NBA teammate, no All-NBA defensive teammate, and what you would call maybe his best guy, Holmgren, is out. And let me say something about that real quick. I don't know if you want him back in the lineup. It might hurt you in the playoffs not to have a big man, but I'm just saying they're playing against great big men and they're still dominating. So him coming back into the offense, it might mess up the flow of the offense. You know what I'm saying? Because they're a fast-paced team, and they're playing pretty good defense without, they got Hartenstein, but they might be better with Hartenstein, okay? Because I think he's a more veteran presence. He don't try to do as much or demand as much. He has better assist talent, passing the ball, and stuff like that. But SGA right now is the MVP. And I'm sick of hearing people say on TV, he just put himself up in a second. It's too early for us. They're one of the best teams, OKC, and I think they just won 15 straight. Come on, man. Let's stop it. They beat the Knicks the other night. They don't beat everybody. What else do you want? SGA is getting his points in the flow of the game, right? He's not stat padding or controlling the ball to get these assists, to get these points. It's in the flow of the game. His guys are getting his stats in the flow of the game with him. I just can't see it with Joker, man. Like I told you guys before, to me, for Denver to be a real team and be dominant, I don't see why he just can't get down there on the post or work off the ball and let somebody else, be a point guard and get the most assists. I mean, because who's going to stop him on the post? Right? I know he does work on the post sometimes. And what I'm saying is, instead of, you're using a lot of energy for assist and being ball dominant, imagine how many more points you could score and how many more rebounds, especially offensive rebounds, you could get if you wasn't controlling the ball. This is like some LeBron James stuff. It's shown that it doesn't work. Yes, it can get you a championship or two, but it can't make your team one of those legendary teams that win 3, 4, and 5 and stuff like that. That's why LeBron James had a journey all over the NBA, because that style of play doesn't work. Ask Luka Doncic. Ask Westbrook. That style of non-team play where you're getting the most rebounds, the most assists, the most points, the most rebounds, the most assists, it's not going to work. And Will Chamberlain knows about that. It's not going to work, folks. And you would think it'd be working more better in the soft week era, but it really don't work in the soft week era. So I just saw a good game. I like these games where they're real games and they're not slurping on LeBron James. We don't have to hear about this guy. Guys aren't flexing. Guys aren't flopping. Now they did get called for one flopping call. But what I'm trying to say is these dudes aren't out here like traveling as far as like it's all in your face. Traveling, carry, taking all these steps and stuff like that. Well, you watch the NFL, right? Ain't nobody saying the NFL is perfect and they got a perfect league or anything like that. And people, have been saying for a while that it's kind of rigged, but the fact that they actually call real penalties during the game, holding, offsides, all these different penalties, it shows at least the refs are, doing what they're getting paid for. When you see the NBA and they're not making these calls, travel carry, and stuff like that consistently, like you're watching NFL games and you're seeing all these penalties, it's just crazy, because in the NBA you can see these things more than when you watch the NFL. I mean, when they call a penalty, the people on TV or on the stands really don't even see this stuff. I mean, the field is so far away, the action is so far away, and the camera's not that close into the line or whatever like that. Everything's like bam, bam, boom. In the NBA, you can see this stuff clear as day. Fans are screaming, travel carry, all this stuff, and the referees don't even call this stuff. So, that's why I was just saying, you didn't see that much carrying and traveling in this game, and shenanigans and stuff like that. Dudes flexing when you watch the Lakers game, dudes flopping and crying and doing all this stuff. And I think this NBA, I don't know what it's going to take for the NBA to get back. One thing we're lacking is, we talk about the international power in the NBA, right? And it's basically out of control now. And we talk about the lack of American stars, okay? And this is what I'm going to say is, it's always been international players, but a lot of those international players would go playing. Take Hakeem Olajuwon, John Stockton, Patrick Ewing, and people like that. They went and played in our colleges in the United States. So even with international players, American players back in the day, the great players went to college and they actually had a following. So you knew them coming up out of college, sometimes high school. So you knew them coming up out of college, how great they were, and you had expectations. and they might have been on your favorite team. So you might have followed them from Kansas, from Duke to North Carolina, wherever, into the NBA. And you're like, yeah, now I'm a Sixers fan. Yeah, now I'm a Bulls fan. Now I'm a Seattle fan. You had these guys that you knew because it was a following in college. They played in our colleges and they went into the pros. That's not today, folks. It's not that just these guys are international players. They don't play in our colleges. The majority of them, they don't play in our colleges. And I know you can say, oh, I can name a couple. Yeah, you can name a couple. But for the most part, a lot of these guys don't play in our colleges. The big players. Luka Doncic, he didn't play in college. In our college, Joker did it. Wemby did it. Did SGA? I don't remember. I don't remember him going to our colleges. I think he came out of Canada somewhere. Remind me if I'm wrong. But a lot of these guys, aren't going to our colleges and are coming out from other countries, a Greek freak. And I'm not trying to hate on their game or anything like that. But the fact is, that's the difference between international players back then and international players today. They don't go to our colleges. So the following, as far as, the hype and everything else around that, it ain't there, folks. It's not, it's not there. I just couldn't even, I was thinking about that the other day and I was like, man, I couldn't even imagine if you had all these guys just coming from, all these other countries that never went to American college and they just came right into the NBA. That would be, it would be silly. Not that it never happened, but I'm just saying most of your main stars and a lot of these guys never went to American college. So the following is not there for the hype and everything like that. So we don't know these guys. And they're not playing against, the competition here in the United States, which is a certain competition that we know. We don't know the competition over there in Europe because we're not watching that game. So they're not getting to promote a lot of these guys. So you guys tell me what you think. I don't want to hear it. I'm done with Joker. And I had said earlier before, I was like, look, not because he's not a good player, because we're crying about, some people are crying about what kind of help he's got. Imagine the help that SGA has. He would love to get that same help that Joker has in Denver. And I don't want to hear about what these guys are doing, what these guys are shooting, all this stuff, because the guys that SGA is playing with, they're playing on this level for him, folks. They're not no big time names. They're playing on this level for him. And we talked about this before. When you have great players on your team, and the leader is playing out of his mind, and he shows he wants to win, he wants to, share the ball, he wants to, all this stuff. You're going to go out there and put everything on the line. We talked about that with football. When you have a Peyton Manning or a Brady or a Breeze or a Mahomes, Joe Montana, right? These guys are the leaders of the team. So you're going to go out there and put everything out on the line for these guys because they're so great. If you got a sucky quarterback, you ain't about to go out there and try to destroy your body for what? For what? He ain't no good. So they seen that with SGA, and this guy is balling, man. He's got a game kind of like Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, and not in their type of way, the way they play, is because this guy is, he's just slithery. He can do whatever he wants on the court. The guy can't be stopped. His mid-range is out of control. A lot of his guys on the team take a lot of mid-range, which is good. They're playing good defense. His defense is just getting better to me. Getting better to me. And if he wins the West again, I just can't do it, Joker. I just can't do it, man. If this guy lessened up on his stat padding and got a real point guard and did other things, it would seem more, I can see what he's talking about. But SGA don't have nobody. Get SGA another superstar, which I probably don't think he wants. Right? I think he wants to go the route of like Michael Jordan and something like that and win without another superstar that was not another team's #1 franchise player and stuff like that. He wants to do it organically, maybe. So he's not crying for a superstar. He ain't crying for, not that Joker is crying for a superstar. I'm not trying to say that, but he's got less help than, as far as talent, less talent than Joker has. There's no excuse. He's just sharing with his guys. He's getting his points in the flow, and he's playing great defense. And his team is playing for him. That's the difference between his talent or his teammates and Joker's teammates. Joker's teammates ain't playing for him. I don't know why. Probably because they're playing in the system. They're playing in the LeBron James system where he's got to get all his stats. And I don't want to hear nothing about him getting his stats through no flow of the game. I don't want to hear that no more. He's a center. He should be playing a center position, folks, and stop playing this, domination with the ball. If you want to dominate the ball, go down to the post, get the ball and shoot it. But having to get all these assists, it just ain't working for me, man. It ain't working for his team. It ain't working for his team. His team ain't. If it was working, these players will be going all out for him. I'm not trying to diss Joker. I think he's the best player in the 2020s. But no, if SGA carries, look, if he wins the West without Holmgren, what's supposed to be his second best player, I don't know when he's coming back, but it don't matter when he come back. He won all these games without him. And if he wins the He wins the West without him, no doubt. This should be a unanimous MVP. MVP. This dude SGA is my favorite player in the league now, because he can hit you inside out, and he's embarrassing good teams by playing team ball, and it's just not jacking it up. Everybody, I watched his team play before, and I'm like, man, this team is playing for him. This team is playing for him because he don't have these big time star players on his team. They're playing for him, right? And when you got great talent or great leaders, they will play for you. Tell me what you think.